So we spent 3.5 weeks in Vietnam. 6 nights we got completely free food and accommodation through volunteering. So we started off in Hanoi. We did all the main sites, coffee at the Note Cafe, Train Street, Banh Mi 25, Beer Street, Temple of Literature, Women's Museum, Trang Quoc Pagoda, St Joseph's Cathedral. We stayed in a place called Hanoi Eco Stay 2, which is a hostel. It's really great. It's right in the old quarter. Had double beds in a shared dorm still. We stayed there 3 nights and it cost us £22 between us, but the location was perfect for what we needed. Everything was within walking distance. We then got a 6-hour bus, which cost us £12 up to Hoi An. So we volunteered in Hoi An through Packers at a restaurant there. So we were helping in the restaurant in the evenings and also helping with their social media because they've got a new tour company, which is who we did the Hoi An loop with. So they're called Road Kings. We've got a separate video on the loop, but the loop cost us £150 roughly each. That was for a 4-day, 3-night tour. Included all of our accommodation, food, and all of the activities as well that you do on the loop. Went back to Hoi An just for 2 more nights to help volunteering. And then we got a couple of buses down to Hoi An. So we got a 6-hour bus to Hanoi. That was 200,000 dong. And then sleeper, which was the worst sleeper we had, down to Hoi An. So the sleeper bus was a million dong, so it's about £32. We got top bunk on that bus, and it was terrible. The driver was a lunatic. Got to Hoi An. We stayed in a couple of homestays actually. Hoi An, which was £19 for 3 nights. Really good location by the beach. And then we decided we would stay another night, so they were fully booked. So we went to a different homestay called Melody Boutique, which was £6 for 1 night. So in Hoi An we did the lanterns, the old town. We hired a moped from our hostel, which cost us £5 for the day, and went to Da Nang. So we did Marble Mountain, Dragon Bridge. Back to Hoi An we did Pottery Village. We went to a gym there, found a Halloween party. We got a sleeper bus to Dalat, which cost us £26, and we stayed at Mooka's home, which was a really nice hostel. There was lots of other travellers, and actually on the last night we had a barbecue with everyone. We just sat for like 2 or 3 hours just discussing all our travel plans. So that was probably the best homestay or hostel in Vietnam. That one cost us £12 for 2 nights. Really clean, good Wi-Fi, good location again. We hired a moped from them as well. That was also £5 for the day. And we did flower gardens, Pink Church, Crazy House, coffee plantations, clay tunnels, waterfalls with the alpine coasters, and the maze bar. And then our last stop in Vietnam was Ho Chi Minh. So we got a sleeper bus that arrived at 4 a.m. and stayed in the worst hostel we stayed in Vietnam. So it cost us £13 for 2 nights, and it was a hostel called Lataland. It just wasn't the same standard as the other hostels in Vietnam, so it wasn't that clean. The location was fine. It was right on Beer Street. So in Ho Chi Minh we did markets, the post office, the War Remnants Museum, the cafe apartments. But for us, Ho Chi Minh was probably the least cultured city that we went to in Vietnam. So it was a good one to end on because we felt like we'd seen enough of Vietnam by that point. And then we got a sleeper bus to Siem Reap in Cambodia. Overall, I feel like our journey in Vietnam was great. We started in Hanoi. Everyone flies into Hanoi. It's the centre, and then went up north, stayed longer than we expected to in Hai Giang, but we had such a great time, and then sort of worked our way down. By volunteering through Packers, that ended up saving us a lot, because obviously we didn't have to pay for any accommodation or food when we were in Hai Giang volunteering. And then in the other places we stayed, so Hanoi, Hoi An, Dalat, Ho Chi Minh, the accommodation there is cheap. So averaging roughly £5 to £6 a night for both of us, and a few of them were private rooms because it worked out cheaper for us to do that. Moped hire in most places was £5 a day. Petrol doesn't cost a lot at all. the visa, so if you're from the UK now, you get a 45-day exemption, so we didn't need to pay for a visa, just got a stamp on arrival. As long as you're out within 45 days, that's fine. The biggest problem we had in Vietnam was ATMs, so withdrawing cash. A lot of ATMs wouldn't take our card. A lot of ATMs had a very high fee. So Agribank is actually the one that we found had the lowest fee. It's about 70p per transaction. HSBC worked every time if you could find one. Overall, we loved Vietnam. It's been our favourite country in Southeast Asia so far. Ended up spending way more time there than we expected, and we already are planning to go back.